Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Look It Up Podcast. I'm Chip Ulmer, and this is my co-host and Papa, Tony Gudo. Now, Papa, you got a shirt on today that you'd like to explain?
Yeah. It's the Saints, hoodie. But it's salute to the service members, salute to service. Got it last year, just hadn't wore it. Anyway, happy veterans, happy belated Veterans Day to anybody who's a veteran. We appreciate your service. Thank you very much. Up here, we got the national championship bottle from LSU's last championship game. A little statue here, that's me and my wife. We got that from my secretary back when I was employed, when I had my agency, Allstate agency. And they gave us a picture of us wearing our Breeze shirts. So it looked pretty good. They came out pretty good, especially my wife. It looks just like her. Anyway, let's talk about football. That's what we're here for, right? Let's talk about football.
Let's go.
This week, we'll look at college to start with, and we'll mention, of course, LSU went down last week to Alabama. Didn't make it. Didn't come back with a win. And also the Saints pulled good game off. The Saints look real good. Shuck, quarterback, Tyler Shuck, looked real good. I think everybody was surprised.
I was very impressed on his understanding of his poise in the pocket.
Yeah, he stepped up like Drew Brees used to do and made some plays that way. Looked a lot better than I thought he would, and I think most people think the same thing. Of course, it's one game, so we don't know. They got a bye week this week.
And we only scored 17 points. It's not like we scored 3 touchdowns.
Right.
Like
next week we play week after next. This week we bye. Next week is Atlanta, so we'll find out how good they are there. I guess Atlanta's defense is fairly good. But, I mean, if he continues to do this the rest of the year, then that's good. That could help us not have to worry about getting a quarterback next year in the draft. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on that. Let's talk a little bit about college football. The rankings came out last night. Let's see. What the rankings were there. I got a picture of the rankings, the top 12. What's the rankings? Look it up. Tell me what's going on.
For top 12 or top 25?
I'm going to talk about the top 12 in a minute. Let's talk
about top 25.
What are the games? We don't need to list all of them, but what'd you see?
Okay, so didn't Cincinnati lost this week?
Cincinnati lost, yeah.
Okay, so they dropped to
No, they didn't lose. They won, I think.
They lost to Utah.
They lost close.
You sure?
Yeah. Look it up. Look up the score.
Look it up.
Look up that score. We'll find out. Anyway, let's look at that. While he's looking that up, I'll talk about the top 12 that are in the brackets right now. It's Alabama, Ohio State, Texas A&M, and Indiana. Those are the 4 teams that would have a bye if today started the playoffs. The other teams that are in there are South Florida at number 12. They would play Georgia. Notre Dame at 9. They would play Oregon. Miami at 11. Texas Tech is who they would play. Then Texas Longhorns and Ole Miss. And then the winners of those games go to Alabama, Ohio State, A&M, and Indiana. But that's just a projection. We still got, 3 more weeks to go in football. 4 more. 3 more.
Oh, they had a bye last week.
No, they didn't have a bye last week. They played last week because I had them on one of my picks. Remember? And they covered.
Sure.
I don't know if they won, but I know they covered. They get 8.5 points. I remember that. So anyway, that's the top.
Yeah, they had a bye. Look, it says November 1st and then November 15th this weekend.
Okay.
So they lost to Utah.
I know. I'm thinking about UConn. Talking about UConn.
Cincinnati lost to Utah about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But
they're still there in the top 25.
They go at 25. South Florida still hanging on at 24. What is that? Tennessee. That's not right.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tennessee at 23. Pitt at 22. Iowa at 21. They playing good football.
Iowa played a good game this past weekend. That was a good football game.
Okay. I want to skip through a little.
Ole Miss at 7.
Ole Miss at 7.
Texas Tech at number 6.
Yep.
That's one of the teams we've been talking about. I've been talking about Texas Tech since before the season started, saying they were going to be one of the best teams. And right now they're right there. They ranked them. They should make the top. They should be in the top 12 when it's all over.
Miami's still 15 for some reason.
Yeah, Miami should not be that high.
They
I
should
don't
be.
think Miami's got a shot to get in the top 12 because we'll look at standings in a minute and we'll see what they look like. Let's talk about that. Indiana survived Penn State last week. Penn State gave them a tough game and they hung in there. Oregon survived at Iowa. Oregon won that game at Iowa, but it was very close. Iowa stayed with them most of the game. And Texas Tech, they made a statement against BYU. They beat them like 27-28 or 30-7 or something. It was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty
They
bad.
beat them. They beat them pretty bad. Let's look at the conferences right now. SEC right now we got A&M at 6-0, Alabama 6-0, Georgia 6-1, and Ole Miss 5-1, and Texas at 4-1. I don't know. I think right now, I personally would say A&M and Bama will probably make the championship game, but you still can't count Georgia out. And remember, Texas A&M has to play Texas, so that's going to be a big game in a few weeks. Matter of fact, this weekend Texas plays at Georgia.
Oh yeah, they do.
Texas plays at Georgia.
Rematch of last year's SEC championship.
So that's a big game because if Texas wins that game, they would go 5-1 in the conference, and then they play A&M Thanksgiving weekend. So if Texas could beat those two games, then they could make it up in the championship game at the end of the year. And then also Oklahoma. Oklahoma's 3-2. I don't think they're going to make it, but they're playing at Alabama this weekend. So if Alabama gets knocked off there, that could drop them out. But right now, I would say A&M and Alabama is probably the conference leaders. In the let's look at the ACC. That's the biggest. People complaining about the ACC because it looks like they only got one team in the playoffs. I don't see how Miami gets in. Georgia Tech's 5-1 in the conference. Virginia's 5-1. They just lost one last week. Virginia lost last week. Pittsburgh's 5-1. SMU's 5-1. Duke's 4-1. Louisville's 4-2, and Miami's 3-2. I don't see how Miami gets in because Miami can't. They're not going to make it. Don't look like they're going to make the championship.
And Miami's
They're 7-2 over and all. But I mean, how you gonna? You can't get in the championship. Now they could get in overall, but where they rank now, I don't see how they get there unless you have a bunch of people up at the top lose. That's the only way they could get in. My projection there is I say Georgia Tech, and let's see who I have down. Georgia Tech, either Duke, Pitt, or Virginia. Pittsburgh plays Miami this week, I think. Yeah. So if they could beat Miami, that would make get them to move up.
Wait.
I think they do play Miami this week. So that would move them up if that
Yeah,
happens.
you're right.
You know, that would give them a pretty good ranking. The Big 12, we mentioned it earlier, but the Big 12, Texas Tech, they're still number one. They're 9-1 overall, 6-1 in the conference. BYU is still right there, 8-1, 5-1 in the conference. And Cincinnati, we mentioned earlier, 7-2 overall, 5-1 in the conference. So, you know, in that area, I think it'll be Texas Tech and possibly Cincinnati, if Cincinnati continues to win. If not, it could be a rematch of Texas Tech and BYU in the championship game. Let's see, what else? Big Ten, we know the Big Ten. Everybody knows what the Big Ten is. What? Ohio State, Indiana.
It's wide open.
Ohio State is 9-0, 6-0 in the conference. Indiana, 10-0, 7-0 in the conference. They still have Ohio State ranked number one, I guess because they won coming in last year, and they hadn't had no close games, but they play a lot of cupcakes. So
A
we'll
lot.
see.
They play a cupcake this week. They play who?
I don't know, but they're not,
UCLA.
yeah, UCLA is not. I mean, they're better, but they're not top caliber. So they're not playing anybody. Michigan's probably the best team they're going to play between now and the end of the year.
And that's the last game of the season.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Indiana and Ohio State in the championship.
Yeah.
If they keep winning, that's what's going to happen. In the ACC, which is what?
You already went to the ACC.
Navy, the AAC.
Oh, the AAC.
AAC. Navy 5-1, 7-2. South Florida 4-1, 7-2. Tulane 4-1, 7-2. So that's a 3-4-way really, because North Texas is 8-1, 4-1. So there's a 4-way tie up there in that top bunch. Projection, I don't know. I don't know who to say. Navy's good. South Florida's good. South Florida is ranked, and right now they have them in the top 12. So they're projected that they're going to win it and win the division and go. Tulane, you never know. Tulane surprised everybody last week by beating Memphis.
Yeah.
Memphis, they surprised us.
I was telling him the whole night, was it Friday night?
I think it was Friday.
He was saying, "Oh, Memphis gonna win. Memphis gonna win." And I was like, "Papa, Tulane looking good." And then Tulane came in there, and Memphis tried to come back in the end, but
couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
What other division? Real Conference USA. That's Kennesaw State, Jackson State, Western Kentucky. They're all in a log jam. I don't think they'll make any playoffs. Independent, Notre Dame, 7-2 right now. I personally don't think Notre Dame deserves to be in there. They lost to Miami early in the season. And I think Notre Dame possibly could lose another game. And if they do, they'll be out for sure. So we'll find out if they make it in or not. The MAC, Western Michigan, Buffalo, Miami of Ohio, all them people, they play tonight. Matter of fact, those games play tonight. I just looked at them a few minutes ago to see what the point spreads were and what's going on with those. The Mountain West, San Diego State, Boise, Hawaii, they all tied at the top. So we'll see. Anyway, let's move on. We'll give you my picks. Remember, if you make any bets on games, only bet what you can afford to lose. Last week I went 4-2, so if you took any of my bets, you made a little money. I made some money Sunday and Monday night especially. I did real good on Monday night. Anyway, my picks in college this week, I like Louisville -3.5 over Clemson. That's Thursday night. And I like Pittsburgh +12.5 at Notre Dame. That's who they play. Notre Dame, not Miami. Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Notre Dame. Yeah, I misspoke. Anyway, Pittsburgh getting 12.5 at Notre Dame. I like that. Pittsburgh's a good team. And Virginia +4.5 at Duke. I think that's going to handle it. Virginia's going to come back and bounce back, I think, after that loss last week. Mm-hmm. So we'll find out what's going on there. What other games they got besides the ones I mentioned? I mentioned Oklahoma, Alabama.
Oklahoma, Alabama. South Carolina, Texas A&M. Should be a good game.
Yeah, that should be a good
LSU, Arkansas should be. I mean, honestly,
LSU, Arkansas, they're not playing for anything except bowl eligibility.
It's for the Golden Boot.
LSU's going to win. LSU's probably going to win this week and next week.
It matters because it's kind of a rivalry for the Golden Boot, but that's bad.
Yeah, and they're going to continue being our rival in the next few years. They're going to be in our top three.
Our constant opponent.
Our constant opponent. So, but they fired their coach earlier in the year. We fired our coach, so it's like a ongoing thing. But LSU should win this week and next week. They play Western Kentucky next week, and then they finish off the year at Oklahoma. So we'll find out what goes on there. But if they win the next 2 weeks, they're bowl eligible. If they beat Oklahoma, they get a better bowl. So we're going to find out what happens in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Coaching search, everybody's still up in there. We don't know. It sounds right now the leading candidate, according to
the leading bet nod.
The bet nods is Nick Saban.
Bet
nods is Nick Saban. And I heard a lot of news last week that it's going to be Nick Saban. But I believe the reason they're holding off on anything announcements is because they, according to LSU, they have not terminated the contract of Brian Kelly yet. Yeah. They released him, but they haven't terminated the contract. They're working on trying to negotiate a payment to him. I don't see how you get to pay him less. So I mean, you got to pay him his $40 million as far as I'm concerned. But I guess we'll find out. The attorneys are on it, so I guess the attorneys see something in the contract that maybe can reduce that number. I know they offered him $25 million. He turned it down. They offered him $30 million. He turned it down. Now they say he's going to sue us because he wants his $50 million. Well, the publisher's going to have to pay the $50 million and get that over with. Any other big games that we missed?
I think that's about it. So moving on to the NFL.
Moving on to the NFL. We have several games going on in the NFL. Let's talk a little bit about last week. How about last week? What happened?
Last week we had some pretty good games, in my opinion. We had a pretty ugly game on Thursday night.
Thursday night was
Broncos Raiders 10-7.
That was an ugly game.
But then on Sunday morning in I forget where it was.
Berlin, right? Or somewhere in
I
Germany.
couldn't hear it was.
I know it was in Germany. Yeah, they lost. Who was that? Indy. Indy beat.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's in Berlin.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a great game in my opinion.
Well, a lot of people didn't see it because it was early in the morning, so I don't know how many people seen it. I watched
I watched the whole fourth quarter and
I watched
overtime.
the fourth quarter, so
And
was a pretty close.
That was
game.
and it was I think they each scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
And Daniel Jones is still lighting it up. He's still looking good.
So him and Michael Penix were going back and forth, but just Indiana wanted it more in overtime.
Yep.
So
And then what we said earlier, the Saints pulled a game off. Tyler Shuck looked real good.
Yes.
They had a few other good games this weekend.
We had Texans beat the Jaguars 36-29.
Yeah, they came back. They were behind in that game by like 2
The
touchdowns.
Dolphins upset the Bills 30-13.
It was bad.
30-13. It was pretty
bad.
bad.
And the weather wasn't bad. I don't understand. I watched some of that game. It didn't make any sense. Buffalo could not get anything going. It was weird. And Miami was moving the ball up and down the field. So,
Eagles Packers Monday Night Football. Eagles Packers was also 10-7.
Yeah, it was a long, boring game. But if you like defense, it was a good defensive struggle. I like that.
Lions beat the Commanders by 20.
Yeah, and let's see who else. The Bears beat the Giants, and if you haven't heard, the Giants have let their coach go. He's gone.
Oh, they did? I didn't know that.
2 days ago, they let him go. I knew that was coming. Everybody knew that was coming. It just, I guess we'll wait to see when it was going to happen.
Just took
now the word is Kiffin's going to go to the Giants now and Joey Dort.
Kiffin ain't going to the NFL. Kiffin ain't going to the NFL.
Who else? Detroit won. You mentioned that. The Rams took care of the 49ers. That was a good game.
Brock Purdy came in, I think, finally, and got hurt again.
Yeah, he got hurt again. Mac Jones is still.
So, that was about it for last week.
And the Chargers
beat last night.
That was
not last night, Sunday night.
Yeah, Pittsburgh didn't look good at all. And that was one of my picks. I took the Chargers because Pittsburgh is hot and cold. They probably win this week because they lost last week. It's like that's what they do. They win one week and lose the next.
I don't know if they win this week.
We'll find out.
All right. So
let's look at the standings
tomorrow.
AFC. AFC. The Patriots lead the conference 8-2. The Bills are behind them at 6-3.
And the Bills are not looking good.
Nope. AFC North, Pittsburgh's holding on for 5-4, but the Ravens are now making a move. Lamar's doing good. I heard Lamar had a little bit of an issue today with his knee, but he's still going to play. I think he just had some soreness.
Yeah. Burrow, Bengals. Bengals are third.
Come back.
Burrow looking good. He's
practicing.
looking good. He's practicing. So supposedly, he said he's expected. I think he's had a press conference. He's expected to come back within the next 3 or 4 weeks.
They only have like 6 games to go, so they're going to need him pretty quick if they're going to do anything.
Yeah, they need to. I think he said if they get like a few more wins and they're like in the conversation of playoffs, he might come back.
Yeah, I think.
But if I'm Burrow and you keep losing, there's no reason to come back.
No.
You just sit out.
I think Baltimore ends up winning that division. AFC South, Indianapolis 8-2. Jaguars 5-4. So Indianapolis controls their own destiny here. All they got to do is keep winning, and if they do, they'll win that division. The West. Well, Denver's still there, 8-2. That was a disappointment. A win last week, but it was very embarrassing. They didn't look that good. This week, Denver plays Kansas City. Kansas City goes into Denver, so we'll find out what happens there. Chargers 7-3. They're only a game behind. Chiefs are 5-4. Worst they've been in quite a while. But like we said before, what? They're different. They're different than they used to be because they're used to being what?
Oh, it's the AFC. Go to the NFC.
Yeah, where's the NFC?
Right next to it.
I don't see it. Oh, right here. Okay, NFC. The Eagles, 7-2. Eagles still plodding along, still winning football games. Everybody seems to be healthy on that team right now. The defense had a little bit of a struggle the
I
other
think
night.
they won. I think they won. They won last night by
Monday night.
No, Monday night by a blocked field goal.
Yeah.
They ended the game on a block.
And the Cowboys are 3-5, so the Eagles got that division pretty much sewn up. Unless Jake Daniels comes back and makes some noise.
Because they're not looking good.
Washington is only 3-7. In the North, the Detroit Lions are 6-3. Chicago Bears 6-3. Chicago been winning some games. Caleb Williams been looking a lot better than I thought he was going to look. Look better than he did last year for sure. Green Bay's only a game behind them at 5-3 and a tie, and the Vikings 4-5. So that's the tightest race right now in the NFL. Is that NFC North? Everybody's right there, a game apart. NFC South. Well, that's what we're in. Buccaneers 6-3, but the Buccaneers are not uninvincible. They are losing games here and there, so you never know. I think they got a real tough game this week. You get the schedule up over there?
Yeah, they play the Bills.
They play the Buffalo Bills. And the Buffalo Bills are probably going to come back this week.
And they go to Buffalo.
Yeah, so that's going to be tough. Because I don't see Josh Allen having a bad game again next week. So the chances are the Buccaneers are going to lose. Panthers and the Falcons play each other. I think Atlanta might beat Carolina. And we're 2-8. We're in the bye. So we'll find out. We start playing the Falcons next week. Saints still have how many games? 8? 7? No, 9. 9 more games. 9 more games. We played 10 and there's 17 games. NFC West, Seattle 7-2. The Rams 7-2. 49ers 6-4. Guess who play next this week? Seattle and the Rams play each other. Seahawks and the Rams. So
that should be a good game.
That's going to be a very good game. I mean, there's a lot of good games coming up this week.
But they're all at 3.
My picks for this week in the NFL, I like New England tomorrow night, minus 13.5 against the Jets. The Jets are bad, and they traded off the 2 best players they had last week. Houston, I like Houston, minus 7 against Tennessee. Tennessee's a bad club right now. They're not doing any good. And I do like the Rams over Seattle. Seattle's one of my favorite teams. They've been looking good, but I just think the Rams will pull that off. It's only a 3-point spread. Again, my picks are Louisville, minus 3.5 over Clemson. Pittsburgh plus 12.5 over Notre Dame. Virginia plus 4.5 over Duke. New England minus 13.5 over the Jets. Houston minus 7 over Tennessee. And the Rams minus 3 over Seattle. What's other interesting games? Anything else that looks...
Oh, the Bengals and the Steelers at noon.
Yeah, the
Sunday.
Bengals, I don't know. That's what I said. The Steelers will probably win this week. I mean, they go hot and cold, hot and cold.
Yeah.
Detroit and the Eagles Sunday night. That'd be a good game.
That should be good.
Detroit and the Eagles. Eagles probably will win that game at home, but you never know. Those games, and that might turn into another 10-7 game. It seems likely those big teams that are playing each other, they keep coming up with those 10-7 games in the last few weeks. So I don't know. It's got to be different. Anything else we want to talk about?
I mean, no, but we got time yet. We got time to talk about. I want to talk about UFC this weekend.
Okay, UFC. What's going on with the UFC?
Yeah, so you don't really know these guys, but I do. And those people that are watching and know,
They know.
comment your picks on these fights because I'd like to see how people think. All right, so the first fight on the main card, Beneil Dariush and Benoit Saint-Denis. Now, I'm not really familiar with Dariush, but they have a lot of people have him winning this fight. But I'm gonna take the underdog, and I'm gonna take Benoit Saint-Denis. Welterweight bout, second fight. This is gonna be a banger, in my opinion. Should be. Leon Edwards, former welterweight champ, faces Carlos Prates, coming off of knocking out Jeff Neal. So that should be a good fight, but that's a tough one. But I think I'm gonna take Carlos Prates by decision. And then another welterweight bout, we got Sean Brady, 18-1, goes against 18-0, Michael Morales. And then for the co-main event, for the Women's Flyweight Championship, Valentina Shevchenko defends her belt against Weili Zhang, who went up from strawweight to fight Shevchenko. She vacated her belt at strawweight to move up to flyweight to fight for the title. So she'll try to get that. And then the main event of the night will be another welterweight bout. Will be Jack Della Maddalena will defend his first defense of the welterweight belt against none other than the one, the only, former UFC lightweight champion, Islam Makhachev.
All right, sounds like a big card.
So,
is that an early day card or late?
yeah, it's late at night. It's in New York.
Okay, it's late at night. Okay, so good. We get to see that probably after football Saturday night. We'll click on to that.
But my dad swears that Jack's going to win, but I got Islam. But y'all comment what y'all think.
Yeah, look us up. When you go down, we'll go to Facebook at Tony Gudo.
Yep.
Make any comments. Tell us what you think. If you argue with us, you can argue with us, whatever you think.
Yeah, we'd love to argue with you over comments. I mean,
we also own what?
YouTube under the Look It Up podcast.
Yep.
So
another thing, Pelicans won a couple of games the last few days, but they lost back on the losing streak again. They lost yesterday or day before yesterday, I think it was. No, Tuesday. They lost yesterday. 116. No, they won yesterday. Huh? Oh, that was last week. Oh, excuse me. This week, let's see.
they lost.
They lost to the Suns, 121-98 on Monday, and today they play the Trailblazers in New Orleans.
Yep.
And then they play on Friday night. The Lakers come to New Orleans. So we'll see what the Pelicans do. They got a young team. They're trying to put it together. We'll see. There's a long season to go. This season just started. So anyway, all right. This is it for our podcast for today. If you need anything, you're looking for anything, what do?
You look it up.
Let's go, LSU. We need to win this game against the Hawks.
Yeah, we need to win this game. Okay, well, I'm not going to say, well, go Saints, but they don't play this week. So,
all right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Listen to us next week. Bye-bye.